MF, my husband talks in his sleep. My husband's name is Clark. When we were in high school, it used to be a pretty popular joke to call him Superman. After all, he looked the part, with his dark hair and charming smile, not to mention the fact that he was the star of our football team. A perfect boy, my mother used to say. A perfect man, she now whispered to me, whenever we visited her. But, as some of you may know, when a relationship progresses, you start to look past the general, superficial traits that attracted you to a person, and you start to learn about all the other little things that make them who they are. After some time, you love them more for those details than for what you first knew them for. Clark has many habits, many little quirks, but the one that I enjoy the most, even if he despises it and will always shut me down whenever I mention it, is his sleep talking. Even when we were young, I already loved it, saw it as a way of looking directly into his psyche. Whenever he was stressed, sad, or even aroused, I would know it. I would only have to listen as he slept and I would know everything. I spent hours upon hours just watching him as he slept and, even if his babbling wasn't always understandable, just the fact that I could know whether he was having a nightmare or not helped me in our relationship. It made me feel so close to him. I've never been annoyed by it, really. At least not until last month. Not until he started whispering other things than incoherent dreams and pieces of conversations that never happened. Not until he started talking about them. About the other women. The first time it happened, he had had a busy day at school, having had to organize a sports day with several other teachers. At dinner, he barely had enough energy left to eat his food, and he collapsed into our bed as soon as he reached it, leaving me to deal with the kids. This was no trouble, however, and, as soon as they were safely tucked into bed, I walked into our bedroom, only to hear him mutter, "Mary." He said it a few more times, sounding quite stressed out. Already, my mind was whirling. Mary? Who is Mary? A coworker? A friend he didn't tell me about? I spent the next 30 minutes trying to come up with an explanation for this strange bit of sleep talking, and ended up convincing myself that it was nothing more than a strange dream, that nothing was amiss. The next morning, I still asked him if he had any new coworkers. He didn't. Still, it felt good to be sure. The next evening, it happened again. I stayed awake on purpose, my heart beating fast in my chest, waiting for him to say her name again. I waited for a full hour before he spoke. "Janet," he whispered, and I felt my heart drop. One name was fine, but two names of women I didn't know, I had never heard of? I was starting to get suspicious, and, from now on, I would stop myself from falling asleep before him, listening with a heavy heart as he listed more names. Mary, Janet, Claire, Alex. When they were apart, those names seemed inoffensive enough, but when I finally put them together, a sense of dread immediately fell upon me. It couldn't be. No, this was just a coincidence. But still, I couldn't help but wonder, couldn't help but think that. One Saturday, when he left for his usual morning run, I took his phone. It was easy to get in, his password had always been the same, our first daughter's birthday.